Man, thank goodness.
Welcome to the HEX Late Show.
Hell yes.
I'm 43OG. We've got Tangent down here. We've got Sammy Chica over here. And I apologize for our tardiness. We just get chatting before the show, and then before we know it, it's like, 22. So, what's going on, guys? What is happening this week? I've just had a week of not really tuning in to anything that's happening on the social side of HEX. But I have been watching the price, and we were around that 5 cent mark for a little while there, and it looks like maybe we've dropped down to 4.5 again.
It was looking strong for a while.
Yeah. What's your insight into that from
That's the price behind
technical perspective?
I'm a little bit concerned that at the moment, can you see that screen behind me? There's a line that looks like it's horizontal. It's actually sloping upwards. That's a trend line that's been intact for a while, and we're below it now, which is a little bit scary. So hopefully we can get back up above that line and continue the uptrend. Otherwise, it's maybe a bit of a momentum shift to the downside. We still have people saying that they're convinced that we're going to go to like at least down to 2 cents, if not 1 cent. I'm obviously hoping that does not happen.
Who was saying HEX under 5 cents?
What's that? I missed that.
Yeah. I've been doing those meme tweets where I'm like, last chance, guys, last chance to get it under 5 cents. And it was awesome because we were actually going above and below 5 cents the whole time. So I got to thrash that meme like 7 or 8 times in a row. It's really good.
So what do you get in pumping the price to 5 cents?
Oh, I just picked that arbitrarily. Like there was nothing significant about that level. It just, I guess it's a bit of a big even, right?
What do you think pushed the price up?
What pushed it up? It seemed like we were in an uptrend, which we still could be in an uptrend. Like I think it's possible.
Yeah. It's hard to say.
Well,
there has been a bit of like if you look at what Richard Hart's streams have been like over the last few weeks, seems to have been a few of them with like different people in the crypto community, like the outside the HEX community, and I just wonder whether that sort of has some sort of a delayed effect on the price chart. And maybe we need more streams like that.
I just did think answering Sammy's question, I think we are still seeing a bit of correlation with what's going on with Bitcoin and ETH at the moment, mainly Bitcoin. So I think the main, I was watching it very carefully. I was watching how the prices were moving, and it wasn't directly correlated. Like, it wasn't like HEX pumped literally every time Bitcoin pumped, and vice versa, and dumps as well. It wasn't quite that correlated, but just the general trend in the sort of the short-term trend does seem to be correlated at the moment. So I think for me, that's what I would probably attribute the majority of what it has done recently in terms of going up and down.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Don't you reckon?
I am pumped at. Sorry, Sammy, what was that?
Sort of correlated to Bitcoin and ETH, and then HEX pumped. Correlation, isn't it?
So I guess the correlation, it matters what time frame you're looking over. So you can make something look correlated, or like you can't force it to be correlated or uncorrelated, but what you can do is you can cherry pick the time frame to make something look more or less correlated. So it really does depend on. So I would say if you go full macro, like if you go over the life of HEX, I would actually say that if you did the math on that, it would actually still be showing decorrelation, because there was major periods through its history, like we're talking months minimum, where it was doing completely different shit. But then as you start to break down to smaller and smaller time frames, it was something that people who have done correlation, like the math on the correlation, I typically ask them, like, what time frame are you using, and have you looked at a sensitivity analysis as you widen and shorten that time frame? And typically the people that I ask, they don't know what I'm talking about, which means that they need to probably up their, like, as in improve the way they're thinking about it, or the math that they're using. So yeah, it's no criticism, but it is important because it will change the answer.
Yeah.
That's most of legacy. That's
back.
most of legacy finance, isn't it? Like charts related to legacy finance, just picking and choosing. It's actually what our inflation figures are based on as well, because they pick and choose what data they want to include in that. So look, there's a few comments, Sammy, that your internet is choppy. Do you want to jump out and come back in?
Who's mine or Sammy's?
Sammy's.
So, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people, there's that famous quote, like lies, and damn statistics, or something like that. It's like, you can effectively, statistics are very manipulatable. So that's why when people say shit like, trust the science, and they try and present data, and you're like, bro, you need to be very, like, unless you actually have a high level education in statistics, which I happen to, it's very dangerous to present statistics and to draw conclusions from them, because of how easy it is to be manipulated.
That makes sense. Man. We were chatting in our chat about there was an airdrop not too long ago. I'm not sure if it's still running. Actually, there's the PLSD, the Pulse Doge.
I think that
airdrop.
That ended because Claire messaged me and warned me it was on the last day.
Right.
It was quite funny because she flicked me that message, and I was like, "Nah, that's okay. I already claimed it." And then I realized, hang on a second, there were other accounts that I have that the reason I didn't claim was because in those accounts I was less hard, like my staker status was less hardcore, and the gas fees were very high at the time. And the price of PLSD was lower at the time, right? But with the new parameters of lower ETH price, lower Gwei gas, higher PLSD price, and my staker status in those things hadn't changed, but those other parameters had changed where it actually did make it worthwhile. So she actually saved me from missing that airdrop on a couple of accounts that I had written off as being not worth doing at the time.
Good stuff, Claire. Who's Claire?
Doz's wife.
Oh, yeah. Class. We know as Class.
Sorry, I should refer to her as Class because that's how the community knows her. So, hey, so what was the name, Sammy, back in time to me to ask this question? What's the name of the chick that does the weekly wrap up on like Hex and Pulse News? I want to start watching her shit.
So her name's Bobby H, and she does
Okay.
Quattro Cinco News, and I've just posted her channel into our private chat. If you want to share it with everybody, because she's really really entertaining, and she's professional, and she's a really great chick. We met her at Ladies Discourse on the weekend.
I'm all in on this.
Do you want to pop it in this private chat here, Sammy, and I'll post
She already has.
Oh, has she? I don't get it.
I'll put it in our chat.
For context for everyone else, I was actually just saying to Day 43 and Sammy, saying, because I'm a busy guy, I don't have a lot of time to watch all content and try and find the critical elements out of these long streams that people tend to do. That obviously people enjoy themselves, that's great, but I don't have time to listen to like 4-hour streams where it's focused the entire time. And so I was saying, we really need someone who does like a weekly wrap up that's just the most critical shit. And they said someone is already doing it. So guys, if you like me care about efficiency in your content absorption or whatever you call it, when you take in content, go and subscribe to, she's almost got 2K subscribers already, which is just under what I had on my YouTube channel before that shit was rugged out from underneath me. And I love the name of this, Quattro Cinco News. What an awesome title.
Is that still rugged? Is that channel still rugged?
Yeah. I even threatened legal action, dude. I was like, my lawyers want a point of contact so they can start legal action. Dead silence.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. That sucks.
It's all right.
I'm hoping it comes good.
I trust the universe, man. I trust the universe 100%. For whatever reason, I'm not supposed to be on YouTube right now, like other than this show.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, I hope you get it back, Tangent, because I love your streams.
Yeah, we'll try everything. We'll try to get it back.
It's not really fair, you know. Now we know why Google got rid of that "Don't be evil." Like they had like the "Don't be evil" slogan, and then they got rid of it because they wanted to be evil. Obviously, this is a good example of that. You know, getting rid of Tangent's channel is pretty evil, if you ask me.
It is evil.
You know how I mentioned that I had a friend that I've got 2 friends that work at Google, right? The one that I've mainly been in contact with about my channel ban, I remember he came back to Perth. So he was working at Google San Francisco, and he came back to Perth. Actually, maybe I'm dropping a little bit too much information for Google to be able to like narrow down who this is. Anyway, ignore everything I just said. And so anyway, he came with like a prototype phone. You know how you can unlock your phone using like a pattern? He came back to Perth and showed me a phone before that was a thing. So he had like basically this prototype phone because he worked in the department that was dealing with like, I think he was dealing. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. That's going to narrow it down even more. So anyway, he showed me that pattern shit before it was even on phones. And I actually asked him flat out that night. We were at a place in the city, and I said, "Dude, what how likely is it, or do you recognize that there is a threat of this company being too monopolistic, too like, this whole like data shit, like all the things that people back then were only just starting to get concerned about it. It wasn't like a really massive deal." And I grilled him on it. And he said to me, he was like, if that ever happened, everyone that works at Google would just walk the fuck out. Like, so basically impressing onto me that the ethics of the individual workers at Google was so high that they would never allow that to happen. Now look where the fuck we're at. Now look at where the fuck we're at. And I'm not I'm not criticizing him as saying he's being unethical, but we're in a bad place, like in terms of privacy.
So maybe what he said has actually happened, but not like a mass walkout. Maybe it's more on an individual basis. Like people who don't believe in that shit have walked away.
Yes.
But what happens then? they've got an ability to then fill that position with someone who maybe doesn't have that same ethos, you know, that same.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. They keep going. They keep walking down that path.
In fact, I have heard of that happening, not from him, but I have heard of, I saw a video where a guy, an ex-Google employee who did walk out, said that almost every AI ethicist they have ever hired who deals with looking at the ethics of AI has either been fired or has walked out. So, and that's just one example of one department. So you're absolutely right, man.
Dude, that's scary. Hearing that is scary.
Yep.
Hey, sorry to cut in. This is like off subject, but someone did write in the comments about what's the news on the weight token. And I just wanted to share my experience, because I watched a really great video from Crypto Coffee about claiming the weight token, and I claimed it, and I think it cost me around about $25 in Ethereum. It kept on asking for more, asking for connection, asking for like this one, asking for that one, and then I got, when the weight token was worth about $50. So just to let you know, if you're thinking of claiming, it really sucks out your Ethereum. So
that's concerning that it's asking for multiple, has the community reached a consensus that it's safe to do it? Like, it sounds a bit scary if it's like,
I believe,
like saying sign this, sign this, sign this, sign this.
Can we have some confirmation from someone in the chat who has been in the Pulse Police chat room?
I was
Telegram,
just thinking about Pulse Police.
Yeah, because they tend to go over this stuff pretty rigorously, and to give us an idea. Yeah, they got the green flag from Par Excellence is saying seems to be legit. Got the green flag from the Pulse Police on Telegram.
Awesome. That's enough for me. You know, the only reason I haven't claimed it yet is because it did that thing where it wanted you to, like, it took gas just to check whether your account was eligible or not. I was like, hell no. Imagine paying gas and it being like, nah, you're not in the eligible set. You'd be like, what the fuck? So I haven't done it yet, but I'll get onto that.
That's fair enough.
Is it fixed drop or is it variable on certain parameters? Is it same for everyone?
It's just the address you sacrifice from. So you don't, I mean, you can just.
So any address that's sacked gets a fixed amount of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the parameters.
But the longer you wait, the more it goes up. You got to try and beat the same launch. That's the old giggity.
Hey, I just want to mention that there's a HEX race car in the UK which had a crash in training in trials or something, and the driver Warren Gilbert was airlifted to hospital. So we just want to wish him all the best and hope that he has a speedy recovery, because obviously we don't ever want to see anyone get hurt in that way.
Yeah,
get well, Warren. Yeah, Hexy Bastard was on Ladies Discourse on Saturday telling us all about it. I think he was in chat as well. But I think he seems to be stable. That's the last I heard from Hexy Bastard.
Right.
It really highlights how dangerous race car driving actually is. I think people take it for granted because there's such a good safety record in racing, particularly modern racing. Like it used to be literally like classed as an extreme sport. People who were race car drivers back in the day, like obviously before I was born, were literally considered to be like daredevils. Like, you know what I mean? The risks were so high. Now, obviously, the safety is a lot better, and a crash like that, because of all the safety shit that they've got in the cars, he's probably in a lot better state, than what could have happened if we were like even half a decade ago.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
Did you see the stat? It was pretty well.
Oh, it was wrecked. It was absolutely wrecked.
Was it Schumacher who's in his home being looked after 24/7 because they're paraplegic from a bad?
That was a skiing.
He had a skiing accident, and
you're thinking of Ayrton Senna. You're thinking of Ayrton Senna.
Oh, okay.
The guy who died.
Yeah, so basically, people did comment that it's hectic that Schumacher had such a long career in one of the most dangerous sports, basically got through it, survived it completely fine, and then ended up doing that level of injury recreationally. Do you know what I mean? It's
ironic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys? I haven't actually watched this yet, so I'm looking forward to it. But Richard Hart had 2 more interviews. One interview. Kitco News.
I've seen them. They're good.
I haven't caught up on it. Like I said, I've been out of the loop. I'm not even not checking.
That's understandable. Yeah, they were good, man. They were really good. They were really good. The only criticism that I heard from people, which was fair, was that he missed the opportunity to say some of the like really basic stuff. But my opinion is that he's polished and refined his pitch over and over and over again. When you're that far into it, it's easy to forget that there is like really simple statements you can make that hit hard that you used to use at the very start of the like journey that now you've kind of not grown out of, but you don't necessarily think to say them because they're just so like it's becomes assumed knowledge because you've said it so many times. And he has to kind of always calibrate for his audience, right? Now there's going to be a varied viewership that goes from hardcore hexicans like me that have watched literally every minute of his content through, I sound like a stalker, but right through to people who are completely new to it that like have no idea what he's talking about. So when you've got this massive spectrum of people watching, it's hard to always nail the pitch. But I think he does an amazing job.
Absolutely.
He does.
But don't, once you watch a few, like I've watched nearly Richard Hart's stream as well since 2017. Like every time he come out, like I'm bang on the way to work in the car, I have to listen to what he's saying, even if it went over my head. And I've learned way more since then. But like, I mean, it's almost like the things we hear, they're sort of like become repetitive because we know him so well and we know his thoughts on things. It's great to see him getting the word out. It really is, especially with, huge audiences. But sometimes I'm kind of like, well, we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for Pole Shane. I need more about that. You know what I mean?
It's funny. You watch a 2 to 3 hour stream with Richard Hart in it, and look, it feels like maybe 90% of what he says. Sometimes I've heard him utter those exact same words before, but the reason I watch is for that diamond in the rough, because sometimes he will just say something and be like, oh shit, okay, that just changes, how I'm thinking about things. Or he might just drop some serious knowledge, just some technical knowledge that then you're like, I need to go research this and learn about it.
Hey, can I just throw mad respect at Sammy here? Because so obviously in life, you can't keep everyone happy, right? You absolutely can't. You're always going to have people who are saying that you should have done things differently, whatever like that. And I am guilty as well of criticizing Richard over various things, Bitcoin being one of them, but other things as well. So guilty. Sammy is one of very few people who has just been supportive of Richard Hart the entire time. That is like, but in a really positive way, like not in a just like a blind faith, like it doesn't matter what he says, I'm just going to support him. Like a positive and justified support of Richard Hart the entire time. And I think that's massive. Unwrecked does the same for HEX itself. Sorry, Sammy.
Thanks, Tangent. That's really sweet for you to notice. And, I love all the Hexican and you guys just as much, but I think Richard's really needed our support. And what he's doing for us is amazing. And I'm a kind of person that wants to give back. So I'm glad you can see that. And I just, I plan to continue my support for him because I still adore him. And, I've got a lot of respect for the guy.
Yeah, it's so important. And the other thing I'll say is like, often when I've said things that have been less than supportive of Richard Hart, often when I look back on them, I'm like, you know what? That was unnecessary. I didn't need to say that. Or I'll watch an old clip of his and be like, this dude's fucking legendary. Like, why am I ever saying anything that is less than 100% supportive of his shit? So it's just nice to know that Sammy's in the community doing the right thing by Richard and the right thing by the community.
Oh, that's really sweet, Tangent. Thanks for noticing.
I agree with Tangent as well, fully.
Thanks.
You've done a great job, Sammy. Absolutely.
Oh, he deserves our respect, and the man is not a liar. The man is not a scammer. And if anyone's got a brain, anyone can see that. And I don't know. Yeah, I just think he's a wonderful human being. And yeah, he's not perfect. Neither am I. I mean, he does a lot of things that only boys do. He does stuff.
And that's the thing. You know how I said, like, you can't keep everyone happy? There's always going to be some subset of people who think that what you're doing is not right or not cool or whatever. It's literally just impossible to be amazing to everyone. Like, it's literally not possible. So I think with that in mind, hey, Claz. And what I was going to say, but I didn't mean to cut you off in you saying thank you, is that, thanks for noticing, is that I've noticed Unwrecked does the same for HEX itself, for the actual, you know what I mean? Like, Unwrecked has been unwaveringly positive towards HEX, whereas many people within the community, either with price action or with beef with other hexicans, on the rare occasions that comes up and whatever, people's kind of like opinions are more plastic, like more fluid to suit, like they're situationally dependent, whereas Unwrecked just comes in with the fire every time and is just like, HEX, the number one crypto. Like, literally never, like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we've got on our stream, The Late Show, we've got two of who I would consider to be the most dedicated hexicans that I'm aware of. Obviously, my exposure to the hex community is like not as, you know what I mean? Like, these are people that are within my observational.
Oh, yeah, you've always been on, and you've always been, coming here and showing your support, and you've always been a big fan of HEX and Richard. But the thing is, you're more of from a technical perspective, where you look at things differently and you question things. And it's good that you got to stream with Richard, because some of the questions that you had got answered, and that's your passion for crypto and for Richard. And you should be proud of being you, because you're an awesome human being with an awesome personality. And
thank you.
I think
I'm super keen to try and get Richard into a discussion / debate with some of the more higher quality maxis, even if it means losing my crown as the best debate Richard has done so far. I'm willing to give it up.
Who are these people?
Well, the two that I'm most keen for are Jack Maulers and Adam Back. Like, Adam Back's like OG cypherpunk, right? Like, cypherpunk mailing list, like total OG, heavily involved in Blockstream. That would be epic. And Jack Maulers. The reason why I want Jack Maulers is because he's a cheeky shit, and he'll be able to combat Richard on the on that level of like the kind of winning the crowd over with sort of like personality shit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. He'll be able to match it.
But yeah.
I think
hey guys, can you smash the likes?
What's going on? And what's going on in chat?
And hey, I love you guys and girls. Thank you for all those sweet comments. I really do love your support every week. You're coming back, and it's really cool to hang out with you guys and girls.
Hey, so do you guys want to hear what I've been up to the last week or so?
Yeah.
While So I'm looking around. I want to buy like a Vespa, like just an old school 60s or 70s Vespa. just so I can just roll around town, like a fucking foreigner doing what foreigners do. And I've been looking around, and here basically you can buy a Vespa, a 50, like a 50cc Vespa, and you don't need any license to ride that here. So anyone, like a 14-year-old kid, can ride a 50cc Vespa. And the old ones have this little green book that they come with. It's like their registration book, and there's a number in there that matches a number on the body. And if you buy it, there's no paperwork that needs to be done. You just basically it's the Vespa and this little booklet, and then you exchange money, and then that's it. That's ownership of and you can just ride it. That's it.
Are you going to wear a helmet, 43?
Yeah,
please wear a helmet.
You got to wear a helmet. You got to wear a helmet.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty. So you're saying that is, outside the purview of the surveillance state, like how small items should be, right? That you can buy and sell items without having everything to be registered with the government.
It's just nice that you can ride them without having to get a license. That's nice, but you still need to have a number plate, which you have to get for it. So it's not quite like a bicycle. But I'm just in love with those things, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because when I was a kid, I spent a bit of time on Vespas when I was in Italy, and I just developed this love for these things, So now I need to have one, and I'm looking around, and I'm just wondering what I could do with Vespas that could somehow tie into HEX, because they are a great store of value. They are a fantastic store of value. They're not making any more 1960s and 1970s Vespas. The ones that exist are there. They're not going to make any more of those little books that they had from the 60s and 70s. So,
have you bought it yet, or you're buying it?
I'm looking around. I've been looking around. For one. I will buy one. You'll see. I'll let you see a picture of it when eventually I get one.
And what else have you been doing apart from Vespa shopping over there?
I've been doing something really stupid. I've been smoking cigarettes.
43. That's bad.
It's terrible. I cannot. Do you know how hard it is to be here and not smoke cigarettes? Everyone fucking smokes cigarettes all Lebanon, the time.
They do as well. Are they cheap over there?
They're pretty cheap. They're like €5 for a pack of 20, which is not. They complain. It's about, what is that? Well, I don't know. It's probably about €7 or $8.
Oh, that's cheap. Yes, I paid $20 for a pack of 20.
Yeah. And by the way, when I go to Australia, I usually just stop immediately. I don't smoke.
Oh, hey, stop.
And I'm not smoking. By the way, people don't get concerned. I'm not smoking much. I shouldn't smoke at all. It's such a stupid thing to do. I don't know why I'm smoking.
It's really stupid.
It's so dumb.
I don't know why you're smoking either. I can't talk. I smoke, but mine are $20 for 20, and that's from the Lebos, like the cheap Lebos, the underground.
Yo, no one that I know smokes anymore. Everyone vapes. It's fucking nuts. I do neither. Like, it is bonkers, man. I've not seen someone light up a cigarette for at least a year. At least.
Really?
That is bonkers, right? Bonkers. Vapes just came through and just swept through this city. No one smokes anymore.
I wish I could vape, but I prefer smoking. My kid just told me she's been vaping. I had to give her a lecture. I regret smoking because it's not good. Even vaping is not good for you.
I think we're probably going to find out that vaping is at least as harmful as cigarettes.
Oh, you reckon it's as harmful or worse? You think it's as harmful or worse?
I think it would be as harmful or worse, particularly the flavored shit. I think the flavoring is going to be found to be disastrous. That's just my prediction. Obviously, I don't have any shit to back that up.
I remember Googling shisha. You know, you go to the Lebo shop and you have
Oh
shisha,
yeah,
right?
I do
And it
hit
tastes
shisha bongs. I do
Yeah,
hit shisha bongs.
having one of those bongs is like smoking 40 cigarettes.
Oh,
Googled
fuck
it.
off!
Yes.
Wait,
Yes. Oh,
no,
Google
whoa.
it.
Do you mean if you pound through the entire puck, or just because I'm
Well,
usually hitting it with a
one
group where
stroke.
where it's
Yeah,
puff
yeah, I think
pass,
it's
you know?
one stroke. I think it's like one stroke of the bong. Oh, what it says. I'll re-Google it. That's why I never
God
went
damn, no wonder I like it so much. Oi, 43, you want to share my screen for a second? I thought this was hilarious. It's why I laughed before. I didn't, I hope you guys weren't talking about something serious when I sort of like went, huh. Hex, 90% off. This is, I don't know if this is photoshopped, but it doesn't look like it. It looks real. So, and this is from Hex Priest.
I wonder where that is. Can we tell which side of the car people are driving on?
Sorry, let's take a look. So it says
where
more
the
Hex
steering wheel is in
ads
the car?
part 340. That's all it says. More Hex ads
Can you
part
zoom in
340.
again? Zoom in on the car, on where the sign is. Can we see which side of the driver's side is? That might help us. It's obviously an English-speaking country. Is it? Is it an English-speaking country?
Yeah, well, it's written in English.
So English-speaking
MD
country.
point.
What side of the car are they driving on?
You're going full detective spec on this, hey? Why don't I just ask? Why don't I just?
It looks American.
I'll ask where it is, and if they reply by the end of the show, we'll work it out.
Cool.
So, yeah, guys. What else has been going on? Like, is anyone in the chat bringing up anything important?
We've got Hexagon of the Week that we need to do. Hexagon of the Week.
Who is Hexagon of the Week?
Middle class worker man. Did you posted that link, that Twitter link of the actually, I'm not sure if we can share that, to be honest with you. Did he do that on Twitter? I think he did it on Twitter.
Both.
If it's on Twitter, then that's fair for him. Hey,
I just wanted to say tangent. I just Googled it. One hooker, how many cigarettes? Says hooker sessions are typically around an.
Oh, did you say hooker sessions?
I was waiting for the punchline. That just sounded like a joke. It sounded like you saying a joke. How many cigarettes is a hooker session? I don't know, man. Sounds like a lot of cigarettes.
Oh, bro. I don't know why I'm just generally excited about crypto, even though everything's still wrecked. Like,
I know why. I think I know why. Why? Because the next run is going to be epic.
That's true, actually.
Dude,
that's
next run is going to be fucking epic.
Whenever you are right. You are right.
It's going to change some shit for you, me, Sam. It's going to change some shit for a lot of the people who are watching now. And even actually, if you're in Hex, it's going to change shit, on the next big run. Who knows how much it will be? It could be, I want to speculate on how much how many X's it's going to do from 3 cents, hey?
Do you know what I think people underestimate? The size of these coins in market cap. I know market cap's a vanity metric, whatever. It's still an indication of how easy something is to pump or not, right? Crypto in its entirety is still such a small asset class. I believe it can easily pump while the world is crumbling around us. Like it's possible, right? Like if enough
Hex
money,
could.
if
Hex could, yeah.
Hex can. Yeah. I think even just crypto as a whole is still small enough. So, like, let's say ignore Bitcoin. I would say ETH, which is like the second largest, could still easily pump with just a few big dogs coming in on it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But normally crypto goes with the stock market, sort of, doesn't it? It's sort of
lately it's been
correlated. But if this was like a once in a lifetime transfer of wealth type situation, then you can't rely on that metric. If this is we could just have an inflection, like a point where just everything flips over and changes.
Yes. That correlation won't always necessarily be there. And anyone that assumes that's the whole risk that's that whole rookie shit where you're like, think that shit is just going to always go how
it's been like this. It's going to keep being like this. It could flip, man. It could just everything could just change.
Also, the other thing I'm convinced
of,
or something that I think is highly likely, is that if shit continues to get worse and worse from a macroeconomic point of view, that at some point there is going to be a lot of capital looking for something somewhere for it to go that is not completely fucked. And there'll still be like, look at, there are altcoins that are pumping like shit. There's always some altcoin pumping like shit, which ends up being an advertisement for crypto markets as a whole, that there's some chance to pump. And if wealthy, like high net wealth individuals realize that they can create those pumps, there's definitely potential there. I'm not saying this is guaranteed shit, but there's definitely potential that we will break that correlation.
Bro, we don't need the world's richest man. We just need like a few of the less richer people who are in the top like 1% or the top like 0.1%. Before we go any further.
Yeah, you go.
I was just going to say, before we go any further, Sammy was about to tell us how many cigarettes it takes to bang a hooker.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you something that Richard Hart said in that conversation. But all right, so 10. So it's around about 200 puffs per session. It's equivalent to about 100 cigarettes.
Fuck.
So a puff is half a cigarette.
Before my internet dropped out, Richard Hart did say that eventually the interest rate rises will stop and crypto is going to go nuts. He said it on one of the recent streams, and interest rates went up again today. Did you see that?
Okay. Here's a serious question.
How much did they go? Can I ask, guys, how much did they go up by? Because I'm out of the loop.
I read the article and I forgot.
0.75, 75 basis points.
What are we at now? Interest? Yeah, interest rates in Australia. How much do they go up?
Sorry. I was talking about America. America did 75 basis points.
I've got the article now.
What did Oz do?
So 50 basis points to where 1.85%, marking the highest level in more than 6 years, according to Bloomberg.
Did you guys see my tweet where did you guys see my tweet where I brought this up to offset the seriousness of my next question, but did you guys see my tweet where I talked about like how governments, it was like an analogy between chess and governments, or like getting checkmated and so serious fucking question, right? How is it possible that I am not addicted to nicotine if I've done shisha sessions where it's like between me and one other person, we've smoked 100 cigarettes in a sitting. So I've smoked somewhere between 30 and 50 cigarettes, depending on how many people I'm in the session with, between 25 and 50 cigarettes, from 4 down to 2 people. How is it possible? How? That's 6.3. That's 6.3 inch. Tell me how it's possible.
Well, it's possible.
I don't see the connection between that.
I quit smoking for a long time, and then I went to the shisha bar, and then all of a sudden I was hooked on smoking again.
So I need to stop. I need to stop hitting those shisha bombs.
I prefer mine like that.
Do you? Sorry, Richard.
Can I make an observation? Can I make an observation?
Yeah,
and this is an anecdotal thing, that relates to me and smoking. When I'm in Italy, I feel like I want to smoke. When I'm in Australia, I don't give a fuck about smoking. I'm not around people who smoke. I'm never in a situation. So I think
the
fact that
situational
social,
addiction.
it's a social thing.
Sort of.
It's a social thing as well, man. It's like very much a social thing. And also, if you need to, like those things you're talking about, like the hooker thing, whatever you're talking about. What do you
Shisha bomb.
Shisha bomb.
Shisha.
Yeah, you have to sit in a room where one of those things is, right? And you need to. It's not like
the hurdles in place for me to actually go and smoke one
is different from having a packet.
It's too difficult. You're right.
Where you can pull one out anytime you've got nothing to do, for like you're waiting somewhere for 2 minutes. You pull out a cigarette and smoke it to pass the time. You know, it's like almost like an excuse to just do nothing for like a couple of minutes. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the Red
Bull, it's interesting you mentioned when I was an engineer, like a salaried engineer at the start of my career, I used to get envious of people being able to just stop working, walk downstairs and go and stand outside in a car park for like 10 minutes because they were smokers. And I knew that if I did that and one of the directors walked past while I was just standing in the car park, just like breathing in fresh air, they would be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Get back to work. Like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? There would be a perception that you're just being a slack fuck. Whereas smokers got a pass because it's like, oh, he's addicted. He has to go out and smoke, you know? Yeah. So.
Unfair.
Totally unfair.
Well, I always take undesignated smoke breaks because I work from home like most of the time. So I smoke way too much. But no one knows. They're sneakies.
I think workers need an alternate time wasting thing that does not also give them lung cancer. Like what could replace smoking as the thing that Facebook just on your phone. Yeah.
That's why I used to get annoyed, man, because I would get busted for coming in late because I wasn't a morning person. But my productivity would smoke everyone else's. I would work late as well. And all these other clowns would just be surfing Facebook all day. But because they're sitting in their little cubicle in the correct hours, they would get praised as being like hardworking, you know, valuable members of the company or whatever. And I would be seen as some sort of like black sheep, always rocking up late shit, even though I was crushing it.
Bro, I cannot imagine you sitting in the cubicle. Like, I cannot imagine.
I can barely imagine it, dude. And I used to do it. Like,
but when I think about it, it would be some office, like the series office type shit where you'd just be like fucking around. I can't imagine you actually working in a cubicle.
Oh, can I tell you a story? At the time, I was obsessed with the TV show 24, right? I was absolutely obsessed with it. My favorite TV show. This was when the TV show was actually fresh. Like it was actually a current TV show, right? And we had the same telephones in our offices as what they had in the show, and it would make the same sounds. So it would like the ringtone was like doo-doo, and it was like the Cisco IP phones, right? And one time, so we would call each other on them, like myself and my peers, the other people who were the same level engineers as me. And one time I just took the risk. I assumed it was probably one of the boys calling me up. And so I answered the phone, I picked it up and I was like, CTU Almeida, which is like a way that they answer the phone in the TV show. And it was like the second highest director. And he was like, what? Like he was all confused. He was like, what? And I was like, oh, sorry. It's like, I said my name. And he was like, don't be doing that shit. Like, and I got my ass handed to me.
Really?
And I was just like, oh my God.
I can't believe you had a sense of humor. I would be like,
no. He did not take it well at all. Like it was not good.
Oh
This reminds me of something that I did when I was a kid. I was over at a friend's house and their parents were out, and like we were maybe 7 or 8. And back in the day with the landline phones, there was a number that you could dial that if you hung up the phone after you dialed it, it would make the phone ring.
Oh,
So
that's
Yeah.
right.
remember that?
Yeah.
So
I remember.
we were just like kids, and we were just being, I don't know, immature kids or whatever. So we would like dial the number and then hang up, let it ring, and then pick up, and just for the, I don't know, for the fun of it, we'd just like be swearing, like as if we were swearing to someone on the phone, right? So
so then they would think you're talking to someone like that.
No, we were
Like
just
the
doing
spirit.
it just to fuck. It was just to
Oh.
fuck around. It was just like some stupid kid shit, right? And then we were doing that, and then like I did it, but it was actually a real phone call.
Oh.
And then like I got in so much shit for that, man. I got into so much trouble because
the
I
adults
was
wouldn't
swearing.
have even known that you were swearing.
I just picked up the phone and went like someone had called their house. It wasn't even my house. They'd called like my friend's house, and I picked up the phone thinking that I dialed that number, and just started swearing like, all this sort of, shit, and then just hung up on them. And then they later on called back later on when I wasn't there. And then the next day I got into so much shit, man. Got into so much shit for that. It was hilarious,
but at least,
dude.
But
hilarious.
you were a kid, so you've got an excuse. I was like mid-20s when I did it.
This is true.
I can't. I've lost count the times I've had my ass kicked. I don't even want to go. I don't even think about it. I was a naughty kid. That doesn't seem so bad. But I am actually. Well, I'll tell you about one time when I was working at a survey and I was reading the paper, and the general manager came in. I didn't know it was him. I read the article. I was reading. And I actually swore, I said, "Gee, did you see this in the paper? This is fucked." And I swore, and then he just smiled at me, and then I found out he's like the general manager of that particular chain of service station. I'm like, what? But he was always on to me. I didn't get my ass kicked or anything. But, yeah. I don't think it's that bad, answering the phone that way.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that for a lot of jobs, people are expected to not be themselves. So it's almost like society imposes this split personality. So my friends that are lawyers, my friends that are doctors, my friends that are like friends of mine, pilots, and not just professional careers. There's this expectation that you behave a certain way when you're at work that is not true to yourself. And I think that's terrible. Like, I think people should always, so obviously within reason, like as in, although maybe not, like as in maybe if you're the sort of person who wants to just swear all the time, then you should be in a role that's allowed. Like, or maybe it should always be allowed. Maybe people should be able to speak however they want. But it would obviously take like a drastic remodeling of how society, what's society's expectations.
There's places you can go, you can swear as much as you like, man.
Yeah, look, I've employed people before, and I have never imposed any level of you have to dress like this, you have to speak like this, you have to none of that shit. None of that shit.
Yeah. But I agree. You lose your individuality, and you look at waitresses and waiters who serve the public who are always having to be at a certain expected level. I mean, we all enjoy going out for dinner, but some people have being in that role. People expect you to wait on them hand and foot, and they say jump, you say how high, sir. Like with your personality just drains right out of you. You become a robot slaving away for your $12 an hour.
I agree. Yeah, that's exactly you just made my point, but a lot better than I was able to do it. That's so true.
It's just it's shocking, and probably nearly 90% of the world's workforce probably are in roles that are like that.
Yep.
Yep. So hexagon of the week. I said middle class working man, but I don't have that photo. Let me see if I can go find that photo that I saved.
I'll find it. Where do you want me to send it?
I've got it saved. It's cool, Sammy. I've just got to bring it up.
You got it?
Yeah. No, I've got it. I just need to get it.
Cool.
Where is it?
Lots of plum trees, a sheep, a two, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
There's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Hey, social of the week. It's middle class working man. He's just got his HEX 5555 number plates. Give him a hand. He's awesome.
They look They look fucking legendary.
Awesome Mexican right here.
And for those of you who don't know, middle class working man is the gentleman who runs HEX Asians, and we actually used to stream together back in the day a couple of years ago before HEX Asians was a thing. So he used to be on the HEX Late Show with us as well. So Hexagon of the week.
I remember that. I think he and I only crossed over on maybe like 1 or 2 streams though.
Yeah,
perhaps. Yeah, it was early days. It was back in 2020.
Yeah.
It was definitely in 2020. He must have
left shortly after I joined the team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was never like an official. Oh, hang on, I've got a. This is actually a really good question. OG Lambrettas are better than Vespers. Good question, dude. Now, I would say that, like, I don't know a whole lot about Lambrettas, but there's a whole lot less of the old ones around than Vespers. There's a lot more Vespers. Vespers seem to be held in a higher regard, even just when you talk to people. But if you get like a really old school Lambretta from the 60s, and it's like, you know, being totally redone, those things look awesome as well. I love them. So I wouldn't mind having a Lambretta as well. They've got like 50cc Lambrettas. Oh, interesting fact. If you've got an international license, you can ride up to a 125cc Vespa or any bike in Italy as well. So if you come to Italy and you're on holidays, you can get a 125cc, go and rent one, and all you need is that international driver's license. Up to 125cc, you're allowed to ride one in Italy. Bet you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
I didn't. And what's the speed limit over there on the Autobahn? Autobahn.
About 7 or 8 years ago, this will answer your question really well. About 7 or 8 years ago, when I had to drive to Palermo, which was like quite a long drive, I actually overtook the highway police at about 140 k's an hour because that was the speed of the traffic. Everyone was just going 140 k's, and it was like a 90k zone. Everyone was just overtaking.
What is it now?
What's the speed limit? Depends where you are.
Yeah.
On the freeway, it can be up to 110. I've seen up to 110.
Yeah.
I've been told that in the United States, there's kind of like an unspoken, unwritten rule that if the traffic as a group is breaking the speed limit, then it's fine. Like the cops won't bust you as long as everyone's kind of traveling roughly the same speed. And I think that's a sensible rule to have, that it's like, it only becomes dangerous if everyone's going one speed and then there's just one person that's coming through like, 150% faster. Then you should definitely have HEX logos on your car if you're going to be doing that sort of shit. But yeah. Yo, can I share a chart, 43? I've just been readjusting my channel just to show what I'm concerned about from earlier when I made that comment at the start of the stream. So this is the channel that I've been watching. I've deleted one of the lines that was like a midpoint line. So this channel here, these solid green lines going up, that was the uptrend that we've been in. And so you can see like the number of touch points is significant on each side of the channel. and now we've just broken down out of the bottom of it. So there might be some potential to readjust this line a little bit at the bottom to make it try and save it and make it look like it's still in the channel. But this is what's concerning me. That is all.
There's been some like, I'm not sure if it's dolphins or sharks who have end staked recently, because I've just noticed some shift in rankings and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe some of these guys have end staked, they're short stakes, and maybe they've just seen the price where it is and thought, I'm going to sell some, which is fine. Do what you like. That's what it was created for. Buy, sell.
Man, have you seen Pulse Dogecoin going off its face?
Yeah,
I was actually going to mention that project without saying the name earlier when we were talking about coins that pump when everything else is getting crushed. And
I think we can mention it.
Oh my god!
What
It's
is
pumping like a mofo.
Is it?
What is it now?
626.
Cool.
It's ridiculous.
Did you buy some,
ridiculous.
I've got no problem. So this is.
Yeah, you guys. Okay, I'll admit it. Like, so you guys we've got a chat where we organize this show, and I did mention, I was like, you know what, guys, fuck this. Like, whoever's running this fucking pump and dump has obviously demonstrated that they're willing to just relentlessly keep buying it. So I'm buying in. Was it around $6 at the time? Was it like just under? I think it was just under $6
just under
when
$6,
I made that comment. And yeah, I did buy some.
Yeah.
So not heaps. Look, not heaps. Look.
Hey, did
heaps.
I end up replying to that message with like, enjoy buying my bags or something? No, maybe I didn't. Maybe I thought. Maybe
I hope
maybe
you
I
did.
thought.
I hope you fucking did.
I can't remember whether I just thought it but didn't write it, or whether I actually wrote it.
I think, like, I had a stream today where I talked about like being on this stream tonight and a few other things, like my event that's happening on Saturday and stuff like that. And I had this realization in real time on the stream. I was like, oh my God, in crypto, you just bet on retardation. Bet whatever's retarded, just bet on that shit. Because it usually, like, meme coins pump, maxi premium, absolutely out of control, like ridiculous. It's like, if you bet on retardation, you in crypto, you're generally actually going to come out pretty good. Look at the number of coins that are just complete garbage, in just fake DeFi theater, pumped to high heaven. No one cares.
What's your aspirational number for post? Like, I don't mind speaking about coins which are direct, almost like derivatives from HEX. Like, the only people who got Pulse Doge coin were
HEX
stakers.
Yeah,
right. So I'm fine with that. Like, that is
okay.
Like, that to me, that's legit, because that's a token that has a coin that has rewarded people for delaying gratification. So I think that's great. That's fine. I like
to answer your question.
Stuff.
To answer your question, in broad terms, imagine that if someone has got a coin, like either because it's their coin or whatever, where they've done the math on how much economic energy they would require to ensure that shit does not go below a certain price, or slowly raises in price, or pumps.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've done some maths. I wouldn't be surprise if they've done some maths, because it sounded like the distribution. They would see the distribution.
On the same subject, there's a news article around that someone put a few thousand into a particular doggy coin, which I won't mention, and they made like over $1 billion in this one doggy coin because they were in early, and I think
Was
well,
that an Australian? I think I have heard this story. That was an Australian guy, wasn't it?
I'll post the article in our chat. Apparently, it happened. It's not confirmed.
Yeah, look,
but there's an
these
article
things,
on it.
these things.
And that's
Richard
betting
says
on those
himself,
coins.
this shit in crypto, it's real. This shit really does happen in crypto, but we just need to be aware that as time goes on, there's more and more coins. So you definitely cannot take the shotgun approach that I used to take in crypto, where you just make sure you've literally got some of every coin, so that when one goes and does like a 1 million X, then you are G. Like, because with that theory, you only need $20 in every coin, and any coin, if one of them does a million X, you've got $20 million. Boom. And what's $20 in every coin back when there was only like 1,000 coins or 2,000 coins? You could literally buy $20 in every coin and just have your bases completely covered. Now you can't, like, you need to be a little bit more selective with what coins you're doing like lotto ticket shit with.
Yeah.
So these things absolutely happen. And it's these sorts of stories that start to drive the FOMO as the market either is bottoming, has bottomed, or is slowly on its way back up. A single story like that of my mate made $1 million out of $20, it just starts the FOMO cycle, and that's all that's required. And then it's fucking moonbound. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So right, that's why I love crypto, and that's why I'm in crypto and so passionate about it. I've seen what it can do. It's like nothing else on this earth. It's like rags to riches in months. And if you pick your cards right, you can do it. But we are in the best ecosystem. And the
best part about it, Sammy, is that the people who get rich are more often than not, the sorts of people that the existing system keeps poor. Like, as in, so that's not always the case, but statistically, there are more people who are like nobodies who have got ultra wealthy off crypto than any other high level enriching that's ever happened in the legacy system, because it's obvious that system benefits the people who are already wealthy and already connected and already have powerful allies. And so that's part of what I love about it, like, is that yes, there is this potential for high gains, but it's like the little guy. And then the more people like that get wealthy, who knew what it was like to not be insanely wealthy and not be connected, the more good that actually happens in the world. Like, look at Richard, right? Even though he claims he was like rich before, he didn't grow up as the son of a wealthy elite. So then you can see his attitude is towards, making like positive change in the world, and he cares about human rights and shit like that. So
he's genuine, and it's a genuine, stance against our social system and our economical system, because he cares about the little guys. Like, some castes where you're born, if you're rich and they are poor, they are scum. In Australia, we are known to be in a culture that looks after our brothers and sisters, and the guy that owns a small business or has less money, we look after them. And that's like crypto, it's anyone can get rich. Like, it's designed to make a lot of a little. And we know that by looking at Bitcoin chart, when it went.
Sammy, that's such an amazing point. I often forget that, because obviously I've lived in Australia my entire life. So you start to take things for granted, but we don't have a class structure here, or at least it's not as obvious, and it's not so that I'm glad, because
we've got a big middle class in Australia, very big middle class.
There's less, but also there's less, like, you don't get this instant like respect and reverence from being wealthy in Australia, I don't think. Like, as in, it's definitely more balanced in terms of people's attitude towards money, and also like your history, like your family history. No one really gives a fuck about that here, right? Like, it's not that big a deal. And so I believe that in people's spiritual journey, the less things that you identify with, the closer you are to spirituality. So like the closer you are to sort of like truly being enlightened. And so we are blessed that we've grown up and live within a society that puts less emphasis on that shit, because it's one less thing that we have to try and fight against and de-identify with, is like social standing, family history, all of that nonsense. So thank you for reminding me about that, because it's definitely something is amazing about Australia, is that we don't have that shit.
Absolutely. And, you can't take it with you when you go. That's another sign saying, we are with the universe. We're heading in that direction. And I just forgot what I was going to say. But, yeah, I totally agree. But, with money, you can't live without it either. So as much as I believe it's a spiritual path, spiritual journey, and I believe finance plays a part in it somewhere, because we just can't function as human beings on thin air,
Yes. I do think that, because money's super important to get it right for the benefit of everyone.
Yep. I'm having discussions with people over here, like just having that initial crypto discussion, like, starting with like what's money to you guys, like what, you know what I mean? Like, because I was having this discussion with a guy who was telling me that, like, I don't know where to put my money. Like, where do you put your money these days? Do you put it under your mattress?
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Is that where you put your money? And I'm like, bro, like under the mattress?
Dude, it's a super difficult question.
I mean, and I was just saying to him, dude, you need to like learn something about crypto. You just need to learn about it, because, if you're going to hold the money yourself anyway, you might as well hold something that is going to go up in value instead of down,
Absolutely. It's not financial advice, but it's a really good place.
No. Actually, that to him, that was financial advice, not to the people in this stream. I was just, that was a discussion I had with him, and that was financial advice to him.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But not to the people who are watching.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find a really nice picture of. There's like a picture of a Vespa that I have in mind that I want to show up on the screen, just to show everyone how beautiful these things can be.
Go on.
Yeah, no, you guys I haven't found it yet.
While you're looking for that, I was gonna say, I was watching a podcast and they were talking about this sort of stuff about money and like the importance of that shit. And it's like, I forget how to articulate, but they had amazing points. They had amazing points on like why it's so critical to get that shit correct for everyone. It's
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get there? I mean, I feel like the legacy system is going to kick the can down the road for quite some time.
Like always will. And like what you said, Tangent, the older system is for the rich to get richer and the poor to stay poor. You can't make money without having an investment or having money. Yeah. It's just how it used to go.
It increases the wealth gap. It absolutely increases the wealth gap. The legacy system is absolutely a wealth gap generating machine, and it's out of fucking control.
Yeah. We're so lucky to be in crypto, and when it does, the next bull market's going to be absolutely insane.
That's what I reckon. I think the next one is going to be exciting.
Yeah, we're going to need to get break out Matty Allen's sudden wealth syndrome video again and be like, you guys forgot about this one for the last 12 months.
Because we've been dealing with the sudden poor syndrome.
Right.
Sudden wealth loss syndrome. Yeah. That actually is another thing in terms of the psychological distress that occurs when you believe that you've suddenly become super wealthy and then it just gets taken away by the market. That absolutely is another thing that,
it burns.
But that's the stomach. You got to have that kind of stomach for crypto. If you haven't got a stomach for volatility, you can't do nothing about it. You're staked. You can't do anything about it anyway. You learn that you got to live with it.
Yep.
So, tangent. So, does Bitcoin usually makes an all-time high after about a year and a half after halvening? Is that right? As per historical data?
I've actually stopped paying attention to those particular narratives because I think we've broken far away enough away from those the narratives that are kind of within that spectrum of basing cycles on halvenings and stuff like that. I think the danger in doing it initially was you were dealing with such a small amount of data points, right? Because Bitcoin's only been through like 3 cycles or whatever. So is that right? 3, 4, whatever it is. It's an incredibly small amount of data to be making forward-looking statements on. And I heard a really good reason for why. Well, I mean, look, this may or may not have been the thing that I heard, but because the halvening is becoming less and less drastic in terms of that step function, in terms of number of Bitcoin, I know the value of those Bitcoin has gone up. So in dollar terms, the step is maybe just as drastic or more drastic. But in terms of sort of supply shock to the system or lack of new supply, potentially creating a supply shock, that effect is going to become less as these halvenings become smaller and smaller in BTC terms. So I haven't been paying a lot of attention to it, but if you still believe in that sort of cycle theory that the cycles of Bitcoin and therefore crypto do sort of gravitate around these halvenings, then yeah, we're in a pretty good position for a bottom to occur within the either already occurred or within the next, say, like 6 to 8 months. So the time pain should be limited, theoretically.
Yeah. So, and do you think Mt. Gox will sell off? You know, Richard was talking about the Mt. Gox sell off. Is it going to happen? Is there anything that's sort of saying that's going to happen?
I still have not received any emails from Mt. Gox that indicate that any kind of distribution is occurring within a fixed time frame. So there was only just emails. They wanted us to just log back in and redo our claims so we could activate some kind of 2FA shit, like some additional 2FA. It's been so ridiculous. But other than that, I haven't received any emails from them. But I will keep an eye on it, and I'll notify everyone in the HEX community if I get an email that does start to sound like dates are firming up. I will announce that shit.
Yeah, cool. I hope they do. I mean, get it over with already. You know, I mean, everyone deserves their money back promptly. No dilly-dallying. It's gone off long enough.
I will be pissed off if Celsius
lawyers.
people get their money first. So if people assuming that Celsius people even get any money back at all, which is it's still uncertain. But if people who got scammed in like recent cycle collapses of centralized institutions get their money before I get my Gox coins, I will be furious.
Yeah.
Look, I will admit there are complexities involved, right? So it's not, these are not easy things to determine because the asset class is new. So from a legal point of view, once that goes into a courtroom and people have to start to debate the definitions and how to treat these assets, these questions are difficult to answer, but it shouldn't have taken this long. Even with all of those complexities and nuances and new shit that they had to deal with, that has been a ridiculous length of time, like absolutely ludicrous. And in my opinion, my strong opinion is that rather than everyone, whether they're inside the crypto community, regulators, governments, like whoever it is, trying to do this, what is it? Like, what is crypto? Which of these existing asset classes are we going to say that crypto is? Is it a commodity? Is it a currency? Dude, just fuck all that noise and make it its own thing. Do people get commodities and be like, what is this thing? Should we make it a currency? Should we make it a this? No, it's its own thing. So maybe, just maybe, spoiler alert, it fucking is, crypto is a different thing. And so they should say, look, this is a new asset class. And in some respects, it has similar properties to this. And in some respects, it has similar properties to this. And so you can create a new asset class that has different legal treatments in different scenarios. And so rather than this trying to force it into, and I haven't heard anyone say this. Like, I have not heard a single person say, hey guys, how about we just make it an actual new category that we admit it has some similarities in various different situations and attributes that do link. So in some ways it's like this, in some ways it's like this, and that's it. So its definition will almost lend from other assets. So it's not, you're not having to rewrite the entire shit like as it's completely new. You can lend from certain legal precedents, etc., from other asset classes, but you don't try to make it completely fit to one asset class. I saw 43 nodding.
I love it. I love it, man. I love what you're saying here. It is its own thing. It is totally its own thing. Nothing's ever existed. That's why it's so why it's such a big thing. It's so revolutionary, because nothing has ever existed like this before. It solved problems that have existed in maths for a long time. And man, I agree with you. It needs to be its own thing. And we need to stop trying to slot it into, slot a round peg into a square hole.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hey, I found my future Vespa. Hey,
do it.
You guys want to see it?
Well, let's see it. Let's see it. See it.
Hang on. Where's this one? Why isn't that showing? Give me 1 second. There we go. Is that right?
Can't see. Oh, here we go.
That's my future Vespa. No, not quite a golden yacht. Hey, not quite a golden yacht, but that's what that's what I'd like.
Dude,
that's what I'd like.
That is gangster. Do you know if is that factory, or is it wrapped, or is it chromed? Like, do you know how they've got that gold effect on it?
I haven't. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Because that is flat out gangster.
Oops. It's cool. I don't know if it's real. Oh yeah, 23 karat gold.
Damn.
It's like been wrapped. It's
actually
basically
real gold.
Yeah, it's been wrapped. Like wrapped in actual yeah. That's
okay,
cool,
calm down, Richard Hart. Calm down with your $600 a scoop caviar and your gold-plated private jet.
This is what, dude. I'm not envious of any of that stuff. But if I saw Richard Hart cruising around on this, I would be so jealous, man.
Bro, isn't it so interesting? Like, so when I see him rocking fashion shit, I don't give a fuck. But once he started buying supercars, I was like, fuck you, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in when someone is like being flashy with some shit that is not of interest to you, it's much more bearable than when they're suddenly buying all this shit. Like, because his car collection, obviously, except for that gross Mercedes truck thing. Although I probably wouldn't mind having that if it was a different color. But the supercars, the coupes, like the high powered coupes, I'm in awe. Like that is sick.
I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine him like sitting on that with his watches, like just gold chain. Like I'd like to see him wearing a crown as well, like a gold crown. Like,
has he done a crown yet? He should do a crown for sure. Bro,
where is Richard?
What is he waiting for?
I'm calling this right now. Where is Richard Hart's crown?
Where's the crown? We need to start a hashtag,
I want to see a crown with rubies and I want to see all that shit. I want to see like Queen Elizabeth. I want to see shit so like amazing that it makes Queen Elizabeth look like a fucking skank. I want him to be sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want him to have this fucking crown. I want it to be amazing. Don't you reckon? Like, that would suit him wearing the crown.
Absolutely.
Bro, I'm all in on this idea.
Guys,
I'm
did you see Richard Hart's latest flex? He's at a mansion with some of his chick. Have you seen all his jewelry and all the stuff he had in his room? And the
I hope he's
toilet?
having a good time.
No, I didn't see jewelry. I saw him like having an outdoor dinner or something.
Yeah, and then
like he was doing that. He was doing that Hugh Hefner shit. He was doing that Hugh Hefner shit where it's just like him and all girls.
Yeah, and he was going like this. And he showed you all bracelets. You know, the snake bracelet, the snake watch, the pulse chain ring, and bracelet.
Hey guys, in the chat, if you want to see Richard Hart get a legit gold crown with diamonds and rubies and shit, click the like.
And also help me propagate this hashtag that I just created. It's #WhenCrown, WEN crown. So it's the crypto version of asking for him to get the crown.
When Pulse launches, I want to see Richard Hart wearing a crown.
Okay.
Not before.
Because we already did a thing where I promised Sammy that if Pulse got to a certain price, I would fly Richard Hart first class to here for him to come and party in Perth. Should we do another one where it's like, if it goes like maybe 10x that, we buy him the crown?
Yeah. If it goes at like 100x. Come on, Sanders.
It would need to do like 100x from the first class flights.
Bro, I'm gonna chill out on this one. I'm just gonna chill back and save up.
I guess it depends
for
how
my
much
gold
this
vest
crown costs. It like might be my entire stack. I'll be like, why did I agree to do this? This is my entire Pulse stack. Like I'm spending on a crown now.
No,
I like this idea. I'd like to see Richard Hart have a court jester who cracks jokes midstream.
I'll do it. Do you know the court jester provided a very important role in history? They were able to take to sort of criticize the king in a way that was socially acceptable to help keep the king's ego in check. Because we've all seen historically what happens when kings go on a fucking mad power trip. It ends up ending badly for everyone. So maybe Richard does need a jester. I'll do it.
You've been awesome, Jester. Tangent.
I'll wear that wig that's in my profile picture. The one where I've got
D-Raj is with me on this one. D-Raj is with me on this one. Look, I don't know. Maybe it's the Sicilian atmosphere that's making me like become a bit more stingy or whatever. I know that, I know that sometimes. Actually, I better not say that.
I guess. Look. There's everything I do has multiple layers, right? I'm a complex person, right? So notice there are extra layers here. That if he wants that crown, he has to pump the price. You guys are missing that part. So this is not a purely selfless act that I'm doing here. I'm helping everyone.
But he can just have the crown now, though, can't he?
Yeah. True.
I don't want to see.
But he said,
I don't want to see a crown before Pulse launches.
He said he likes
there to be a Pulse launch.
Yes. Agreed. And he does say that he likes.
And it has to. Do you know what it needs to have? It needs to have that red puffy velvet shit that goes.
Oh yeah,
dude. When it sits on the head.
We're going
on the head that's like comfortable.
We're going all in, man. It's one of those crowns like what you see on the chessboard. Like that shit has got the bits that it's not just a ring. It's got the
bits with the diamonds on the top and rubies all the way around.
Bro, I'll someone tagged me in something on Twitter. I'll try and find it. It was like, I think it was an ashtray that was like all crowned out. It was sick. But anyway, look, we'll sort it out. We've got.
Well, this is a Vespa this is like on the real. This is something that really likes shit like, man.
Bro, I'm going on Amazon right now. I'm going to start out ordering crowns, like as in fake ones. Dude, that's sick. Yeah, I like that. That's sick.
Yeah, dude, they're cool.
Hey, cool. Can I tell a joke? This might be. Ooh, you know what? should I put it in chat first and see whether you think it's, because like normally I wouldn't hesitate if this is my own channel, but so it's, I'll keep going with other stuff. I'll send you in private chat what the joke is, and you give me whether you think it's okay to say it or not. But we'll talk about other shit while I'm typing it out.
I say a joke. I mean, unless it's
right.
being, unless it's
no,
dude,
it's not. It's not
like,
that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, dude, could it be worse than
so,
like hookah cigarettes and all that stuff we were talking about before?
So, what's the similarity between sleeping with fat girls and riding scooters?
I don't know. What's the similarity?
It's all fun and games until your friends find out. That was aimed more at you than it was towards fat girls. Like as in, you know, I don't know whether that makes it better or worse, but
I don't know, man.
But anyway, look, it's an old school joke. I know fat shaming's not like allowed anymore, but I just did it.
Was that fat shaming?
Do you know?
I don't know that was fat shaming.
Hang
on, was that fat shaming?
Well, I guess the joke implies that you would be embarrassed if your friends found out that you were sleeping with fat girls. So it kind of is. Can I tell you a story, another story from my past?
Please.
I went to Bali when I was young, bought a sticker that I thought was cool at the time. Clearly not. It said, "Fat chicks shit me." I don't know why I thought it was funny / cool at the time. Like now I would be like, that's retarded. Yeah. I stuck it on the back of my car and was driving around with that shit like when I was fresh license, right? So still a teenager. A cop pulls me over and he gets out of the car and this dude's fat as fuck. And I'm like, oh shit, this dude's fat. He's probably got a fat wife. I'm about to get my ass handed to me like baton style. And he comes up and no shit, this story is 100% true. He was like, funny bumper sticker. Like as in and I was just like, oh my God, thank God. Holy shit, thank fuck. Like he took, like as in.
I don't even know that cops, that could just be outside what cops can do anything about. I think you're allowed to have a bumper sticker that says "fat chicks shit me."
I mean, swearing in the public domain. Look, this is a while back, so I don't know what the rules are and how they've changed.
Oh,
but
dude,
I think if you've got swearing on your shit, are you allowed to have swearing? Bro, my friends used to wear like these like metal the music t-shirts, but we're talking like these are metal bands that had really hardcore shit, right? And one of these t-shirts said God is a C word, but not censored. So like the actual word that was written on a t-shirt, and we're talking like this is like 2 decades ago, where we're talking pre South Park. Like this is before the first episode of South Park. So something like that
is still.
And
like
we used to get screamed at by adults for him wearing that t-shirt, and my other friends would wear shit that was similar. Like I didn't wear that shit. The most hardcore shit I ever wore was a t-shirt with an anarchy symbol on it. Back then I didn't even know what anarchy meant. I just thought that the logo looked cool, and it sounded cool. Like anarchy sound, like the idea of it kind of sounded cool in what Legacy tries to convince you that anarchy means in terms of like chaos and shit like that. Little did I know it actually means rules without rulers, which is what crypto's all about. And yeah, dude, like we used to get screamed at whenever he would wear that t-shirt. But that was that.
I can understand that.
That maybe doesn't sound that. Maybe that might not sound that hardcore now, dude. But back then, that was like way over the line. Dude, over the line, man.
Dude, I lived in that time. I know that the C word used to be. It used to be way more powerful than it is now. Like we've almost like replaced, like there's been words that were okay to use or people used to use all the time that have now just like jumped to the head of the line on words that you're not supposed to use at all. Like I almost feel like the C word is more acceptable than the gay F word.
Oh, see, you know what I mean? Here in Australia, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah.
other countries, but here, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, have we ever heard Richard drop a C-bomb? I don't think we have.
It's a very Australian thing.
I don't
Not so much an American, like not so much an American
From memory, I do not recall Richard dropping any C-bombs. Not that it matters. It's interesting.
Hey, how about another hashtag? When C-bomb RH. when RH C-bomb.
No, I reckon just when C-bomb, and then you tag him in. Like, so I did when hashtag when crown, and then I did at Richard Hart win. So you could just do at hashtag when C-bomb. And you can use capitalization to like really highlight. You could do capital C. You could just do, just have the C as a capital, everything else lowercase. Bro, there are some fake crowns on Amazon that are just like gangster as shit. Like we're talking like black chrome with like fake ruby shit, like fake emeralds, fake rubies, and the crown made out of like this shit that looks like shadow chrome.
So the people who in the UK who made his like chain that he has, you know, the logo on his chain.
Yep.
So that like there's a company that handmade that. There would probably be a company that is responsible for making or maintaining the crown jewels. Yeah, like to make sure.
You mean some kind of maintenance person that cleans it and stuff. Are you saying we should pay someone to steal shit?
I actually wasn't saying that at all, but that is a good idea.
Everyone's available at a price, bro.
Maybe
everyone's got a price. Do we? Oh, bro. Yes. We get legitimate crown jewels to Richard. So we're talking like priceless, stolen, actual crown jewels from the Tower of London or wherever the fuck they store them. We risk it all, bro. We do a heist. HEX heist. The HEX heist. The next video doco will be ending with us in jail, and it'll be about the HEX heist. I'm calling it, bro. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is going to be some Ocean's 11 shit, bro.
And if you're going to organize a heist, remember to do a live stream and tell everyone before you begin organizing, correct?
Well, the documentary crew that film it the footage is going to be there. So we just need to make sure they've got good OPSEC and that they don't leak that shit to the cloud. And
we could just go and like go live in a country where they mine like all the diamonds and rubies and gold and shit, and just go there and get shit. Like it might be easier to do that. We could probably get all the gold and all the rubies and diamonds.
Become a warlord, unlimited blood diamonds. I like where this is going.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what
That's
I just
what we
realized?
need to do, man.
Maybe we can do it legally. We get someone in the royal. So, two-stage process.
I think every hexagon should have a crown. We should all have crowns.
Yes, or at least something from the royal family of England. So check this out. Two-stage process. We wait for governments to collapse. We wait for governments to collapse, and then we go in and we either lowball them on legitimately buying their crown jewels. We'd be like, bro, you've got no money anymore. You're wrecked. Or we wait for the revolution and we just sneak in there while all the rioting and shit's happening and walls are getting knocked down anyway, and we just gank the shit. So it's like one of those two ways. We either negotiate the price down while they're under heavy fire from their own population, or we just take the shit.
Bro, you're so far ahead of me in terms of you're already planning how this shit's going to go down. I'm still fantasizing about.
I'm manifesting it, bro. I'm manifesting
it. I'm still fantasizing about having a crown and a staff that's this high. The staff has to be taller than me so I can, bang it on the floor.
Bro, we're going to start with these fake ones and we're going to go from there. So we'll just see what happens.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. How you feeling, dude? We've been going for like almost a couple of hours.
Oh yeah. We can end at any time. Sammy, disconnected Sammy got rugged, hey?
Yeah, she left because she said that it was too windy.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my God, how do I get this image to you without doxing myself? Fucking hell. All right. I've got an idea. I have to show you. Oh shit. Oh, you know what? It's glitching out. I'll send you a link. Like after the stream.
Yeah, man.
We can
No
end
worries.
it there. That's cool. So any important so my hex drum and bass event is this Saturday. If there are any Perth-based hexicans watching who are not already going and who are keen, definitely come down. It's going to be absolutely dope. And other than that, yeah, everything. Let's just hope that the hex price doesn't completely shit the bed, and we'll go from there.
I've just got one more thing I want to show before we wind up. So this is, I'm going to bring this up on screen. This is like a town in Italy, which is a hexagon shaped town.
No shit.
Yeah, it's been designed in like it's hundreds of years old. It's like a very old town. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen. Where is it? That one there. Let's see. Can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it, bro. That's sick. So do you realize, that Bitcoin City or whatever it is in El Salvador is also being designed like this?
Yeah. I remember we
were shitting on, not shitting on them, but like Hex community was being like, yo, did you guys notice that the shape of your city is a fucking hexagon? Like,
check this one, man. Like, it's the same town.
Dude, that's sick.
Dude, it's a hexagon.
Can you get there from where you are?
It's not. Yeah, I could probably get there. I mean, I'd have to go out of my way, but yeah. This town here is the only. It's the only hexagon-shaped town
anywhere
in the world. Yep.
Well, if Bitcoiners get their way,
interesting.
There's going to be two.
Well, no matter what happens, they're going to be second to this town.
Yep.
They will be second to this town, and
nothing's built, dude. That's sick.
Yeah, this place already exists.
I'm inspired by that shit.
Dude, it's awesome. Looks awesome. Really, really cool.
Do you think that it causes traffic problems though at those, like in terms of visibility of other cars and shit when you've got these streets that are on weird angles that people are not used to? They've obviously worked out. I think
everyone who lives, I'm pretty sure the people who live there are probably used to it. But I think that it could cause problems for people who are not used to being in those towns.
Yeah,
you might get lost quite easily because just imagine everything would look the same. Every street would look exactly the same.
I get lost in Amsterdam, and it's not even designed like a freaking because it's hard enough to get your bearings in a new city like north, south, east, west. Imagine when everything's like going on different weird angles that are not north to south, it's not a grid anymore. Dude, it would fuck people up so hard.
And then the center looks like a town square or something in that town.
Yeah, that looks so cool, dude. That looks so fucking cool.
Open area. Yeah, I got to go check it out, I reckon. I mean,
if you can get there without too much difficulty, I reckon that would be sick. But I guess you almost need a drone to show, like photos from the street level might not show the hexagon nature.
You wouldn't. Yeah. No, it would need to be up high. It would need to be up high for sure.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Let's wind it up.
Let's do it.
I have crying baby in the background, so
I really enjoyed this stream, man. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Likewise, man.
Sometimes when there's too many people on the stream at once, it's hard for everyone to be able to talk. Like, as in, you know what I mean? There's a lot of missed opportunities to talk about shit. So I think 3 is a good number.
It is. I think it is. However, when we have more, I'm always happy. And
I mean, it's good either way. It's good either way. Like,
yeah, and I might see if I can invite Gabro on. He's like a streamer who talks about Hex and Pulse and other stuff, but he's an Italian guy. He's pretty switched on, but he does speak English, so we might get him on sometime and to have a chat. But yeah, big shout out to the people in the chat. Thank you very much for being here and participating. You guys make it worthwhile. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you very much. Tangent, do you have any last words, mate? Your event this weekend.
I normally do.
Your event is sold out though, isn't it?
No. I think there's still like 40 tickets or 50 tickets or something like that.
Only 40 tickets left.
And then
okay, guys.
We also do try to reserve some for the door on the night so that people don't, like, if people rock up and they're like, this looks cool, that they don't have to all be turned away, sort of thing. So there will be a few tickets, but they usually sell out like right early. Do you know what I mean? So it's better to just have a ticket if you're planning to be fashionably late. But yeah.
Yep. So if
expect to sell out. We expect to sell out. It's on event. The tickets are on Eventbrite. If people go to my Insta, which is Sound Money with a 0 on the word money, that some of the images in that Twitter feed, in that Insta feed, have got the links of where to buy the tickets.
Awesome,
Sick.
Man. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I think we're going to wind it up, and we will see you next week.